Hello, I'm Stacia. I will be your hostess for the potluck pandemic. I always talk about being a potluck padma, which we are all potluck padmas. We are in this collectively, rising up out of this muck of all these circumstances to unfurl in this beautiful, expanded way. And yet here we are in the kitchen of grime and cat hair and problems, or what appear to be problems that need some solutions. For example, I just received this gorgeous print. This is Andromeda and Triangula. This is from a series called Urania's Mirror, or their engravings, or A View of the Heavens from 1825. So totally fun fact about this. There's so many reasons. There's sacred geometry, there's the Andromeda, Cassiopeia, so many things. And everyone here wants to be an astronaut, and we are all gastronauts, are we not? Anyway, this came from these engravings of these different constellations were made into these paintings. There were 32 original cards, and where the stars were, they were punched out with a hole. So it's excellent for novice astronomers to be able to hold them up to the light and really get a feel for the shape of that, which is, we are novice astronomers, and we are just getting a feel for the shape of our connectedness, right? The shape of compassion, the shape of all of these other necessary ingredients of leading a conscious and mindful, not just to mention just happier life that is more nourishing for all of us. So anyway, got this, thought it was so cool, it's gonna go in the new work and home office space, and promptly when it arrived, my son, who hides his eyes anytime there's a mention of, dear God, boobs, lost it, because of course, there is an exposed, not completely exposed, I mean, it's more like a pasty really, but there's a star right here. And I did say to him, well, sorry that you feel this way about boobs, but this milk of human kindness, and you wouldn't really have been here and sustained into such a strapping young lad as you are. Anyway, so we won't look, no, will not, anytime something comes up on TV, and it's funny, and at the same time it's really activating for him, for whatever reason at this time, being 15, being uncomfortable, being very more on the late blooming side, I would say, of all these understandings. It's disturbing him to see this. There's really no skin off my nose to say, what do I have in my house that is part professional kitchen, part Office Depot, that I can use so that I can still hang this out so that it can unroll, so it's not all curled up before I frame it. Well, I always have Post-its because they're good for so many things, not just making notes. I'm going to tell you a really cool thing about Post-its. This is the most useful thing anyone's told me about Post-its in ever, my life. Anyway, so it was not too hard to take the Post-its and of course painter's tape, which is good for everything, and measure several times, and measure 108 times and cut once, and create a bodice piece that will fit. It's not perfect, but it's not alarming anybody's nervous systems either. So I feel that we can peaceably coexist with this until it unrolls. And feels to me, again, like this is that loving kindness in action, where we are saying, I don't understand the reasons that disturbed him so much. I don't need to understand them. But if I can sit with my compassion for him and my painful empathy that I feel for my child, it's physically painful to him, then I can come to some kind of usually pretty simple solution. And that wasn't so hard, really. It was no skin off my nose. It was, I even had a Post-it that was pretty much the same color. And so I learned a lot of things by exercising that tool, because it's always sitting with something, being observant, feeling compassion, feeling that awareness of what's really going on here, and then the part of ourselves that is wise, that really has that seed of loving kindness. Loving kindness knows what to do with that. Loving kindness was like, I know what we'll do, and then we could put something into action that actually made a difference. And he walked through. He's fine. Pretty sure he's off playing Among Us with his cohorts. So that's what we're going to be headed towards this week when we gather on Sunday. If you come, if you don't come. Again, this is just a great reminder that, one, there are super cool things like this. I mean, these cards, I'm going to have to get these cards pretty much immediately. I think they might be a little bit on the expensive side, but the holidays are coming. I love when somebody creates something simple that can teach us and can show us really in this childlike way. Oh, well, let's just punch the holes out where the stars are, and then we'll get used, our eyes will get accustomed to seeing this pattern of light, to seeing this constellation of loving kindness, or of Andromeda, or of whatever it is that we are attuning ourselves to pay attention to. So thank you for being here in the kitchen of awareness with me. Namaste.